I had one complaint about the whole show. I wished I got to see that spinning sidekick a little bit more. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Who did
Yeah.
did Mike, did he bring that into the show, or did you teach him that, Joe?
It was in the scripts that they wrote, but it was based on the stuff in my book as well. And they weren't trained in that, but they had people, had doubles that were trained in that. And
gotcha. Yeah, it was convincing.
I showed James a couple of moves, and he used them in the series. And because I've been doing martial arts all my life, 59 years. That's a long time to be doing.
That's a long time.
But I showed him a couple of like an arm lock and a throat strike, and the other guys were using more or less kickboxing style techniques. Hap and Leonard used a lot of kickboxing. They used some Hapkido and Shen Chuan, which is my system. So it was fun to see it. It was done much slower than I would think it was done. But for the camera, they had to make that concession. So we had some good people for the stand-ins for them, and they did a marvelous job. And then of course they did fine too in the scenes where they were close up and all.
Yeah, and sorry, how do you? Because I was surprised about that when I read the About You author or About Me page in the book here. Is that I knew that of course you were a long time martial arts instructor, but I didn't realize that you were the founder of your own discipline too, and it's pronounced Shen.
Right. Shen Chuan.
Shen Chuan, okay.
Means spirit fist.
Okay, very cool.
In Chinese. And it's not a Chinese system, but we use that name as kind of a tribute to the Chinese martial arts, because we think it's maybe not the first, but it's certainly India, perhaps the first, but it's the greatest laboratory of martial arts I think that there's been. And so but it uses Japanese, Korean, kickboxing, wrestling, just a little bit of everything, and it's a put together system, but it's a blended system, not a mixed martial arts is one thing, but blended martial arts to me is even a higher form.
Gotcha. And I'm sure a lot of connections that people would make as they're trying to grasp for I guess something that's maybe relative to that would be, I guess, Jeet Kune Do, where it seems like with Bruce Lee, where he just took
some things,
the best parts and got rid of the stuff that hindered
it. I studied a little of that with instructors who had, studied it, but not a lot. But conceptually, I think that there's a lot of connections. And when I was young and I'd been studying and Bruce Lee came along, we all, of course, were influenced by and learned from his concepts and principles and what he was trying to do. And, I'm not trying to claim it's Jeet Kune Do. It's not, it's Shen Chuan.
Yeah.
It's influenced by a lot of different things, and it's constantly evolving,
Very cool. And you have the one school currently?
Yeah, I have other people who have studied and have received rank under me that have gone off, and a lot of times they mix it with other systems, which is fine, but with me, because that means that it continues onward,
Right. No, that's incredible. And I mean, and I guess that's, where Bruce Lee had issues back in the day was he wanted so badly to not restrict these martial arts. And of course, now we're seeing that now as MMA is starting to become one of the more popular spots in the world. And it's getting a lot more recognitions for not just one or two disciplines like it used to be back in the day, I guess, when the UFC came out. It's like this first thought.
It's still, there's a difference in self-defense, sport, and combat. They're all three have, the mixed martial arts, which you see on TV, they have rules. It's not that they don't have rules.
Right.
It's not, which is fine. And they should. I mean, and then there's combat martial arts when anything goes. And then, of course, there's self-defense, which a lot of times you don't end up wrestling on the ground and stuff because it has to happen quickly, and it happens with somebody up right in your face, and it's not always somebody that knows jujitsu or knows Shen Chuan or whatever, and sometimes it's just pure force and strength, which can if they hit first, it overrides technique. I've always said there's that old thing, the firstest with the mostest, and that my dad used to say, because he was my first instructor in a way, because he did boxing and wrestling.
Okay, very cool.
It's there's a difference in all those, and in one way they're all connected, and in another way there's a different mindset associated with all three of them.
Yeah, very interesting. And it was cool too that I saw in your About Me page too that you've actually been inducted into the International Martial Arts Hall of Fame, which I thought, number one, is amazing because that's a hugely accredited honor. And
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing that
Well,
there's even a Hall of Fame for that. That's because I know with the
yeah,
UFC, for
I
example,
assume
they're
there
talking
still
about
is.
that.
I haven't actually been involved with them in years, but I assume it still is. And there's the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame, which I'm also in. In the international, it was for specific things. In the United States martial arts, it is for my martial art and for me overall for founding it. So I think that's even a bigger, you know, in one you're in it, and then in
Right.
the other you're inducted. In the international,
Yeah.
I'm in it, and then the other I'm inducted. It's like those things when people keep, you know, writing about them. I had like 400 short pieces, and when I see it now, it says 400 short stories. And I sometimes say that too, just because I get tired of going, that's 400 short pieces, which means nonfiction as well, and
Right.
essays, and most of it is fiction. I mean, and it may be more than that. Now, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
more than that now. It has to be.
Sure.
I'm writing all the time, but you know, things like that just get. And after some point, you just say, well, okay, I'm in the International Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and I'm inducted for my system in the
Yeah.
United States martial arts.
I can see why you simplify it for the author page.
They do.
So,
They
yeah.
do. I mean, and sometimes it's not me, it's somebody else. And I just, you know, after a little while, you just go, you know what? I'd spend all my life redoing everything. So I try to
Yeah.
keep up with the number of novels and stuff like that.